Here's a program where we're calculating the interest on a certain initial amount of investment, and we're asked for the rate of investment, the interest rate, and we're asking for an end value, and the end value will be something further down, so many years down the road. So we're calculating interest in a compound interest manner, and we want to know how many years, we want to count how many times it has to loop and give us interest on that year until we reach the ending value. So if I run this program, I'm going to do it with loop here so that I can keep going while the value of my investment is less than my final value. So let's run this thing. So if I start with $2,000, 10% interest is pretty easy to calculate in your head, and we'll stop when we get to 5,000. So I put on the debugger here so we can watch it run. And I put watches on each of the variables that I'm interested in. So I have CD value, years, and interest. So the initial value here is 2,000, it's a decimal. Number of years starts at 0, and the interest amount on that has already been calculated in this line above to be 200. You can ignore the D, it just means decimal. So $200 is 10% of 2,000. Calculates that, then it plus equals that onto the total, right? So T plus equal onto CD value means it's going to add this 200 onto the 2,000. So when I hit step into, the 2,000 became 2,200 because it added the interest on. Now 0 for years, when I hit step into, it's going to become 1 year. And 1 year has passed, and my total investment is now 2,200. And that is less than my goal of 5,000. So it's going to keep looping while that is true. So I'll step into again. Now the interest is 10% of 2,200, which should be 220. There we go. 220 appears at the bottom in red. It's just been updated because of this line just being executed. Now it's going to plus equal the interest amount of 220 onto what I currently have, which is 2,200. So if I step into that, adds the 2, and it gets a new value of 2,420. And it's going to continue doing this. And we can kind of watch the interest amount going up and getting added onto the total, going up, number of years going up. And in the end, it's going to keep going until, right now it's about 3,000. Probably should have picked a lower number. Anyways, it's still going. You can see it increasing, 7 loops, 8 loops, meaning 8 years. Getting close now, so the total amount is 4,715 plus some change. Now it's gone over, so we wanted at least to be our goal. There we go. Now it's 10 years. So it took 10 years to get from $2,000 to over my goal of $5,000. So we should see the loop end here, and it shouldn't go back up. And there we go. It went, and it ended my subroutine, and would have added the number of years, which is 10, onto the end of this statement for the labels text. And so this is basically a problem of just running a do while loop where you don't know when it's going to end, but the condition is, well, the investment amount is still less than the target amount. And that's really all that question involves. It's just a do loop, and I guess there is a counter here, and there's also an accumulator here. But it's nice to see the debugger go, because then you can follow the loop. To get that going, you just double click in the corner or on the side to add or remove a breakpoint, and you just pick any line. Like, I could have stopped it earlier, but and then the step into button allows you to go in. And if you want to follow a variable down here in the watch window, you just can right click it. This one doesn't change, so it's not very exciting. That's why I didn't add it, but I just say add watch, and then it'll appear below.